China declares all cryptocurrency transactions illegal. These were the breaking news of the last week. It's pretty much astounding when I think back 10 years ago, it looked like that China wants to lead the entire cryptocurrency space and build the whole industry out of China. Let's have a brief look on the history of crypto in China. Up to 2017, mainland China had the leading position in crypto mining and dominated the market tremendously. Also, until this year, the Chinese government had a pretty simple stance towards cryptocurrencies. We just watch and observe what happens and how the whole technology evolves. And in 2017, Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, declared blockchain as an important technological advancement and that China would seize the opportunity it presents. He detailed the ways the Chinese government would support blockchain research, development, and standardization. In principle, what he mentioned in 2017 is already that China is working on a digital yuan and won't allow any other cryptocurrency to exist in the country. The first step that China did to ban cryptocurrencies was prohibiting ICOs. These were these initial coin offerings. But the government in China didn't stop there. They made the life of Bitcoiners and all the other cryptocurrencies a little bit more miserable over the last 4 or 5 years. And the final step happened in September 2021, approximately 3 months after prohibiting Bitcoin mining in China. And this final step basically was declaring all cryptocurrency transaction illegal. However, holding is still allowed, but you can't buy and sell that. The only thing you can do is simply hold it. What does that mean for the entire cryptocurrency industry? Is that it? Is it over now? Is all lost? Or do we still have hope? Let's watch the responses that happened right after the announcement on Friday. It was pretty quick. The first one that caught my attention was the All In podcast, where the US-based investors Chamath Palihapitiya, Jason Calacanis, David Sachs, and David Friedberg weekly discuss the recent developments in the world of tech, business, and investments. And all 4 investors basically are US-based and tech-savvy. They emphasized the ideological issues that might have led to the decision of the Chinese government. And they come to the conclusion.
For who don't know what happens, on the taping today, September 24th, Chinese government has announced that doing any transactions in cryptocurrency is now illegal. Holding it, apparently you can still hold it, and this comes after Bitcoin servers being kicked out of the country. So yes, they've pushed the button. Go ahead, Balaji.
The other thing is that with crypto, the upside, even though the state wants to crack down on it harder, the upside is also greater and the global internet is bigger. And so I think the rest of world, meaning all the world besides the US and China, is a huge player in what is to come. That's India, but it's also, Brazil. It's every other country that's not the US or China. And so that's a new player on the stage. And then third, to Chamath, to your point about, yes, China banned crypto, can the US do it? Well, what's interesting is,
and the article describes how we've all seen and talked about on this pod how they've been cracking down on tech giants. They've been cutting down their tech oligarchs down to size, like Jack Ma, how he disappeared under house arrest, and and we've seen that they stopped the anti-IPO. But this article went beyond those steps and really talked about Xi's ideological vision. And what it basically says is that what's going on here isn't just the CCP consolidating power. They actually want to bring the country back to socialism. And what they say is that within the CCP, or at least Xi's view of it, Capitalism was just something they did as an interim measure to catch up to the West, but ultimately they are very serious about socialism. And, reading this article, I had to wonder, well, gee, did we just catch a lucky break here? In the sense that, look, they're abandoning, or if they abandon the thing they copied from us, which is market-based capitalism, they use that to catch up. Maybe this is the way that actually, this is the thing that slows them down. And the thing that historically that it brought to mind is that if you go back into the 1500s and you compare Europe to China, the Chinese civilization was way ahead. I mean, the standard of living was way ahead. Technologically, it was way ahead. Europe was a bunch of squalid, warring, tribal nation states. And then what happened is a single Chinese emperor banned the shipbuilding industry. Any ship with more than 2 masts was banned. And so exploration just stopped in China. They became very inward facing. Whereas the European states explored and discovered and conquered the New World, colonized the world, and that led to an explosion of wealth and innovation. And as a result, Western Europe and then its sort of descent of the United States ended up essentially conquering and dominating the modern world. And so I guess, to bring it back to my question, topology, is there a chance that what Xi is doing, returning to socialism, could this be like the Chinese emperor who banned shipbuilding?
Also, Anthony Pompliano, the Pomp, a Bitcoin maximalist, responded quickly to this new situation, and he also emphasized the ideological point of view. And he quotes on Twitter, for example, pictures who were put together by John Street Capital, in which he shows what happened after every single prohibition step of cryptocurrencies in China, how the price reacted. And as you see on this infographic, the price knew only one direction, and basically, in principle, it was going up, 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 and up again. Both podcasters, the all-in besties and the Pomp, come to the same conclusion and state that they believe that this move of the Chinese government had only ideological reasons. So, as in investment, it's not smart to listen only to one side, but also to start searching for arguments from a different perspective or a different point of view to come to an educated decision and find out what the facts are based on evidence. And in Bloomberg and CNN, interestingly, I found other points. And when we start with CNN Business, the headline is China bans crypto mining and exchanges due to not ideological reasons, the high energy consumption of this sector. And I think meanwhile, this is no secret anymore that when we just look at Bitcoin, the annual energy consumption of Bitcoin is the same like the energy consumption of countries like the Netherlands, Sweden, or Norway. CNN Business writes, China is in the middle of a huge power crunch as extreme weather, surging demand for energy, and strict limits on coal usage deliver a triple blow to the nation's electricity grid. It's a problem that could last for months, straining the country's economic recovery and weighing on global trade. China has an energy problem. With or without cryptocurrencies, they don't produce sufficient energy from renewable sources that they can power up the whole country. We just have to bear in mind that the economy in China still is growing rapidly, and it looks like that the energy grid is not keeping up with that speed. When we look from that angle on the cryptocurrency industry in China, other articles state that so far from the global energy need of the entire cryptocurrency space, 75% of this energy were provided by one country, China. When the government sees that on one hand, all the other industries suffer from energy outages, and cryptocurrencies need a lot of energy. What no government wants is a power outage that lasts for months in any country. There are enough apocalyptic articles on the internet, so you just can do your own research. What happens if a larger region fails to provide power over weeks, days, weeks, or months? And this is a real threat, not only in China, but also in other regions. Bloomberg pointed at this problem as well in an article published September 16, 2021. The world's second biggest economy is at risk of not having enough coal and natural gas used to heat households and power factories. Despite efforts over the past year to stockpile fuel as rivals in North Asia and Europe compete for a finite supply. Demand for heating will jump when temperatures turn colder over the next few months, which could trigger power rationing similar to those seen last winter and over the summer. China has an energy problem, or it already had an energy problem last winter and also this summer. And when we look in a few months into the future, China will face the same problem like they did last year. Not enough power, not enough fossil fuels to heat the houses. And still, I think in China, 60% of all the energy production comes from coal, oil, and gas. So what's the most logical step in that picture? You cut off the part of the industry that you don't want anyways, or you don't need anyways, or you believe is worthless anyways. And in the Chinese case, in my opinion, this perspective led to the conclusion that China doesn't need cryptocurrencies, except the digital yuan. And China is executing. So holding Bitcoin doesn't need a lot of energy, but producing Bitcoin and transacting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies does. So they simply make one move. They prohibit it. And that's it. China leaving the scene means that the opportunity that arises with the blockchain technology is now open for other countries. I mean, the sad thing is that we lost a real opportunity here. In April this year, Cathie Wood's ARK Fund and Square published a paper in which they made a case for Bitcoin helping renewable energy sources to evolve at a quicker speed. The lost opportunity, in my opinion, here is China could have also taken a different move. I mean, they have an energy problem, practically speaking, and China, as a dictatorship, could have simply forced the Chinese crypto mining and transaction industry into allowing only these activities when they use green renewable energy. And in a dictatorship, they could have imposed that regulation from one day to the other, which would have put a lot of pressure on the crypto miners to move quickly and build quickly in Chinese, let's say, real estate construction speed towards wind and solar energy. And I mean, crypto mining is a profitable business, also running transaction, obviously created enough profits that a huge industry existed. And for the common prosperity, I ask myself the question why China didn't go down that route to just force them into using green renewable energy. Maybe it's ideological reasons like the besties from the All In podcast state or Pompliano, or maybe they were just not thinking about it. But I think for other governments, maybe the solution here is not prohibiting crypto mining, but forcing them to only rely on certain types of energy that we want to build anyways. And now, have a great week. Bye-bye.